From local stories to Wayne County news, get ready to dive into everything happening in North Carolina with Taylor House Publishing. Got a story to share? Shoot us an email at taylorpublishinghouse@gmail.com. If you're looking to publish your book or need some top-notch mentorship, we've got your back. Join the excitement with the one and only Richard Taylor, right here at Taylor House Publishing. Speak with Richard directly at 919-587-7782. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and invite your family and friends to watch.
From Wayne County to the Carolina coast, Taylor House brings the news you love most. Tune in on YouTube, don't miss a beat. Little stories that keep you in your feet.
Taylor House, we got the school.
Taylor House Publishing.
So what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back with another story, and this story is another tragic, heart-wrenching incident where 4 children, ages 11 to 14, were found shot in a stolen car at 1 a.m. in the morning. Now, even though this story is not a local story, I felt to talk about it because it kind of speaks to what we see going on in our town of Goldsboro, North Carolina. But this story is out of Minnesota, and it says 4 children, ages 11 to 14, were driving around Minneapolis in a stolen car, and they were shot and wounded. One critically, when an assailant chasing them unleashed a barrage of gunfire on the vehicle. Now, they said it happened at 1 in the morning. Children 11 to 14 years old outside at that time. The question has to be asked once again, where are the mothers, the fathers, the grandmothers, the guardians of these children from 11 to 14 outside in a stolen car, mind you. But this article says that there were 2 boys and 2 girls that were shot. And the 11-year-old boy driving the stolen car, he was taken into custody. Now, he didn't get shot, but the 2 girls and the two boys in the car were shot, and one of the girls was shot in the head and is in critical but stable condition. And the 3 other juveniles that were shot were treated for non-threatening life injuries, right? And so the vehicle was driving, they said, and a dark-colored sedan started following them and fired it at them with automatic gunfire. They said at least 30 shell casings were collected at the scene, and they believe even more rounds may have been fired because those rounds may have popped off in the assailant's car. And another sad part about this, it says 2 of the juveniles that were in the stolen car were arrested less than 2 weeks ago for being in a stolen vehicle. So evidently, 2 of the juveniles had done this before. And evidently in Minneapolis, there's a uptick in stolen vehicles by juveniles. But it says one thing in this article that I want to relate to, what we see here. It says, we are failing to deter this behavior. And with that being said, we are failing these kids as well. And so when I saw this article, first I thought it was a local article, but then even if it's not a local article, what we've been seeing around here with juveniles being in situations where loss of life is had because of gunfire and, that behavior. And so I want to pretty much just make the point that this article made, that we are failing these kids. Now, a lot of you may know in Goldsboro there was a loss of life a couple of weeks ago, and there's been several incidents where children have been involved in the losses of life. And first I looked at the situation and, I put the blame mostly on the children. But after hearing some of the stories and some of the situations that some of these children were in or have been in, then I can't blame the children anymore. I have to blame the adults, the parents, the schools, what have you, because they're children. And so children are supposed to be guided in a certain way. Scripture says, train up a child in the way it should go, and when they're not old, they'll not depart from it. And so it's obvious that these children, whether it's in Minneapolis, whether it's in Norfolk, whether it's here in Goldsboro, are not being guided the proper way. So while their behavior is disturbing, around here, we see them, fighting in the streets, fighting on several occasions, being involved in crimes. One mother reached out to me, not too long ago. And, she reached out to me for a mentor for her 11-year-old daughter, the same age as these children. And, she indicated certain situations that the daughter was in, smoking weed. She was actually caught in a stolen car with other people, had been kicked out of multiple schools, even the alternative school. And, that mother didn't seem like a bad mother, but somewhere along the line, that child went astray. And that, that mother, I think, is a single mother and things of that nature. And, the father is out of the picture, whatever. But, and I tried to find a mentor, for the young lady. And, I don't think it ever went to fruition. But, that's just one example of, how, we have failed the kids as adults, some way, and I can't imagine, I know children sneak out 11 to 14. I gotta be honest, I didn't start sneaking out of the house till I was about 16 or 17, but, even then, there was a certain guidance in my household that, I had to adhere to. But what I've seen, in my time, dealing with some of the youth is, there is no guidance, in the household, and everybody's entitled to run their household as they feel. But if you're an adult and you have children that's 11, 12, 13, and you're smoking, around them or drinking around them, and you're allowing them to do the same thing, then there's a culpability that you have when the results of those things manifest, whether it's going out into further use, venturing out in crime, things of that nature. But the fact that these children in Minneapolis were shot 30 times. Now, we don't know if the individual that shot them was the owner of the car. Yet and still, that does not, justify, them, shooting them. We don't know what type of behavior that these children were in. There's a lot of children these days involved in the the gang lifestyle, and they are recruiting them, at a younger age, and also children are wanting to join them at a younger age because it's what they see. When I was coming up, it wasn't gangs, it was drug dealing. And when I grew up, I saw a lot of older kids, and not even older kids, like 11 or 12. Some of my peers were coming to school, with pockets full of money. And I was like, shoot, sign me up. Where do I sign up at? So without the proper guidance, and I had proper guidance. So without the proper guidance, these children are more apt. They're more susceptible to being influenced by, those outside negative influences. If not for the intervention of parenting and, strong members of the communities who are willing to intervene and, to provide a different outlet. So, I just wanted to share this story because, maybe people have grown cold to it, right? But, I'm getting more and more sensitive to it, every day, because these, this is life. This is the future. Once again, my daughter is 16, so she's in that age group. Fortunately for me, she hasn't, exhibited any behavior that I know about that will put her in harm's way. And I thank, God and her mother and, the other people in the village for that, in keeping, her from going that way. And I pray that she never does. But, we have to do everything as parents and as a community to keep our children, from that. And sometimes I know no matter what we do, children are going to go astray, but we have to put forth an effort to ensure that, these incidents like this and incidents that we've seen around Goldsboro involving children, juveniles, don't continue to escalate and, injurious or, loss of life situations. But 919-587-7782. If you have any more information that needs to be shared, feel free to call me, or you can email me at taylorpublishinghouse@gmail.com. Y'all have a blessed day. Y'all stay safe. Peace and blessings.